Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. Welcome to our video on the history and politics of Côte d'Ivoire. This video will deeply dive into the country's past and present, exploring its struggle for independence, political system, and recent democratic elections. We'll explore the key events and figures that have shaped the country's history, from its colonial past to its modern-day challenges and opportunities. Whether you're into history or simply interested in learning more about West African politics, this video will provide valuable insights and information about Côte d'Ivoire. So please sit back, relax, and join us on this fascinating journey through the history and politics of one of Africa's most dynamic and influential countries. Geographical location. Côte d'Ivoire is a country in West Africa that covers an area of approximately 322,463 square kilometers. It is located in the subregion of West Africa, known as the Ivory Coast. It is bordered by 5 other West African countries, including Liberia to the southwest, Guinea to the northwest, Mali to the north and northeast, Burkina Faso to the northeast, and Ghana to the east. The country's southern coastline runs along the Atlantic Ocean and is approximately 515 kilometers long. Côte d'Ivoire's capital city, Abidjan, is situated on the coast in the south part of the country and is the largest city with a population of approximately 4.7 million people. Côte d'Ivoire's location has historically made it an important trade hub. Its economy is based on agriculture, with the country being a major producer of cocoa, coffee, and palm oil. The country's location has also contributed to its cultural diversity, with influences from neighboring countries and European colonial powers. History. Côte d'Ivoire has a rich and complex history that spans several centuries. Before European colonization, the region now Côte d'Ivoire was home to various African kingdoms and empires, such as the Kong Empire and the Ashanti Kingdom. In the late 19th century, the French established colonial control over the area and incorporated it into French West Africa. During the colonial period, Côte d'Ivoire became an essential producer of cash crops, particularly cocoa and coffee. In recent years, Côte d'Ivoire has strengthened its democratic institutions, including holding free and fair elections in 2015 and 2020. Struggle for independence. The struggle for independence in Côte d'Ivoire began in earnest in the 1940s and 1950s as nationalist movements emerged across Africa. One of the key figures in the independence movement in Côte d'Ivoire was Félix Houphouët-Boigny, who later became the country's first president. Houphouët-Boigny was a prominent African politician who worked to advance the cause of independence within Côte d'Ivoire and on the international stage. During this period, Côte d'Ivoire experienced rapid economic growth and became one of Africa's wealthiest and most stable countries. In 1958, a referendum was held in Côte d'Ivoire to determine the country's future political status. The options were becoming an autonomous republic within the French community or fully independent. The people of Côte d'Ivoire voted overwhelmingly in favor of independence, and the country officially became independent on August 7, 1960. However, the transition to independence was challenging. In the years leading up to independence, there were numerous strikes, protests, and clashes between the police and demonstrators. There were also tensions between different ethnic and regional groups within the country, which continued to be a source of instability in the years following independence. Despite these challenges, Côte d'Ivoire managed to make a relatively smooth transition to independence, and the country has since become an important economic and political player in West Africa. Political system. Côte d'Ivoire is a presidential republic with a multi-party system. The president is both the head of state and the head of government and is elected to a 5-year term. The country's legislative branch is made up of the National Assembly, which has 255 members elected to 5-year terms. Côte d'Ivoire has held several democratic elections in recent years, including the 2010 presidential elections that sparked a civil war. The most recent presidential election was held in 2020, with Alassane Ouattara winning a 3rd term. The election was controversial, with opposition candidates boycotting the vote and claiming Ouattara's candidacy was unconstitutional. Conclusion. That's a brief overview of the history and politics of Côte d'Ivoire. As we've seen, the country has a rich and complex history, with both triumphs and challenges. Its recent democratic elections show it is moving forward, but there are still obstacles. We hope this video has provided valuable insights into this dynamic and fascinating country. Thanks for watching.